And we are rolling. Mike, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me. I was looking forward to this.
Me too. We've had a lot of Google Meets, but now we're actually in a studio.
Absolutely. You look even better in person.
That's a great start to the Not sure it's true, but it's very kind.
No, you're always so kind, and it's so different to work with you and the team because you're very human and you come across as quite approachable. So it's a breath of fresh air, especially in a regulated climate.
That's really, really nice to hear. That's nice to hear that the values are coming across in action. That's the most important thing. Very, very happy. Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about Stoa and what you've built?
Sure. Yeah. So Stoa is a destination where you park your deposit, and instead of getting interest, you get a perk up front.
Okay.
So simply, you could say, you save deposit money, we pay on your behalf. Mm-hmm. Of course, FSCS-protected up to £120,000. All of that lovely stuff. But I think where it comes from is I'm a big contrarian thinker with behavior psychology. I believe meet people where they are. Mm. And where people are, at least in the UK to begin with, and we are seeing this trend globally, is a lot of them, even if they're invested heavily, they still have a part of their portfolio which is sitting in cash. Our research shows it could be apathy, it could be fear of investing, it could be they've been burned before, or genuinely they feel that, politically or whatever the reason is, that now is not the time. Mm-hmm. So what we say, well, look, you're sitting on cash, it's not making you a lot of interest. Why don't you just park it with us and get stuff that you need or use?
Yeah.
And get it up front. And I think that instant gratification has the same impact that I think BNPL had, but without the downside of getting into debt. Because here you have to put money away for you to get the perk up front.
Okay.
And you have to lock it up for 12 months. So I think the only downside is locking up your money to 12 months, but you're getting that thing up front. And so it could be an Amazon voucher, it could be Waitrose, it could be Airbnb, it could be Netflix, Spotify, ChatGPT. I mean, the sky's the limit. So we have over 160 different things across 20 categories.
Wow. That is such a fascinating way to kind of almost flip the script and say, like you said, it's the instant gratification, but it's also making sure that people's savings, that their deposits are working for them.
Correct.
It's such a fascinating way that you've kind of architected this.
Thank you.
What's your background, Mike? How did you think about this? How did you come to think of Stoa?
So my background. So my first innings, I'm a creative at heart. I believe digital products are the highest level of creativity. You can pretty much, you have free reign on building things, communicating things.
Yeah.
But I came from traditional creative background.
Okay.
I studied film, then I also like law. But I'm highly dyslexic. I speak very fast. I'm making my best efforts to really slow this down for your listeners. But I'm very tempted to go really fast. And then this is about 22, 23 years ago. I'm 40 now. I then went to LSE to study law, regulation and policy. I was very excited about what Google was doing then in 2004, 2005 around net neutrality. And I wanted to play a part in policy. And that's why I like regulated products. Right. I actually like getting dirty with the sort of regulatory, because I feel that's a moat. What Griffin has done, not many people can replicate. And what Stoa is doing, it'll be very hard for a lot of people to do it.
Yeah.
So I like those complex legal structures and wrappers.
Yeah.
I studied LSE, that came out and worked on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the television show.
Wow.
For 6 months, selling their licenses of the TV show across multiple markets. It's the first time I learned that you can package IP. I was like, light bulb moment. And then at 22, started my own agency. And again, I was just passionate about working with leaders, either founders or corporate leaders, who literally want to go on missions.
Yeah.
And I did that at some incredible brands, Starling Bank, Klarna, SumUp, Oracle, Amazon as direct clients. And we were their agency.
Yeah.
So, but then about just before COVID, just before AI became AI,
right.
I asked my missus, are we okay for me to take some money to do my self-exploration projects? I'm very curious. And I love working with engineers. I just find them very fascinating people, because I can go, hey, we're going to do this. And I ask them, can we do this? It's like, yeah, we can do this. It's like a child in a candy shop, it's like inventing things from scratch. They're builders. I love it. I love it. And I love telling stories and capturing stories. And so I tried to do, and you can keep parts of this or take it out, but I just feel it's quite relevant from a background point of view.
For sure.
Before AI was AI, I put my own money into some machine learning projects that I really wanted to bring to life.
Right.
So things like machine learning chef, machine learning recruiter. So you speak to the machine, it grades you between 1 and 10.
You were doing this before,
before Stoa, in parallel to my agency, putting my own money, not raising any money.
And before ChatGPT.
Before GPT, this was called machine ML. It was not even AI. And I remember there were different reasons why I shut each one down. And at some point, not today, but we can go deep dive into learnings from each of those startups. They were not really startups. I would call them passion projects, exploring technologies. I was not trying to make money. I was just curious about these domains. And the third one was for professional services like Masterclass, but for professionals like plumbers, lawyers, accountants, build a Masterclass like YouTube style, but meets Patreon and meets Trustpilot. So lawyers can be graded on it. They give free advice, but then they get tipped by anonymous people. So I think I was closest to that thing becoming quite big in the States, but I just pulled back because I'd already built, and it was never for money, it was passion for the leadership. And I really love going on those missions. Built a small scalable business on the agency side, but then now I wanted to do something that will add value globally.
Right.
And that's where I actually reached out to a bunch of very bright financial engineers. And I said, no, I have to go back to fintech. I love the storytelling of money. As Noah Harari says in Sapiens, that there are only 3 big stories humans tell each other and tell them really well. You have religion, you have nation identity, and you have money. And it's just fascinating, the storytelling of money, right?
It really is. The history of money is fascinating. Where we are today in terms of what's happening with money is fascinating. I completely agree.
It's completely changed. So I said, I want to do it in money. And initially the original idea was to put government bonds on the blockchain.
Oh, wow.
That's how original the idea was.
Wow.
And there's a personal reason. My father, to help me in my first year of university, had invested in an ABB bond, the Swiss engineer, I think a Swiss German engineering company.
Yes.
And he sold that. He kept it for 15 years and sold it. That helped me in my first year.
Wow.
And without that, I wouldn't have made it happen. So I was like, oh, you can add value to families globally. So that was the original idea. So me and Sam got together. Sam is my co-founder at CTO of Stoa. And great financial and technology mind, and entertains my rather, very grandeur thought process, and then kind of brings it down to going, oh, well, we could do this. And I was like, yeah, so... But it's a good combination. But it started like that, and then we went on a little journey, which maybe not for this podcast, but on a stablecoin journey, pre-stablecoin.
I was about to say, it sounds like you were thinking stablecoins before stablecoins, government bonds on the blockchain.
Correct. Stablecoin. We were actually, without going into too much detail, in conversations with BOE and sort of some very powerful people around the world, but it's sadly, because of FTX during that, I think it was 23. So we had to pivot. And so we pivoted to something, and in our slide deck on slide 12 was this idea that you park your cash and you get stuff.
Wow. Okay.
And full credit to one of our now angel investors, very senior person from HSBC, in private capacity, looked at it and went, if you build that, I'll give you 100 grand. And we're like, oh, wow, okay. And then he joined. And then because of that, other senior people and all bankers immediately got it.
Yeah.
That you are giving people a reason to lock their money.
Yeah.
And I now joke that generally banks or other products only have one trick in the book, which is lock your money, I'll give you interest. Mm-hmm. Stoa offers you 160 reasons to lock your money.
Yeah.
Right. So if you lock your money, you could do it for Amazon, lock your money for Airbnb, lock your money for,
Yeah.
So I think that tangible reward, not really replacing interest, but a different part of your brain is triggered.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of very fast track story of bringing it to life. But of course, with the help of Griffin, we were able to accelerate the birth of the product in the UK market.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I love hearing that origin story, and I love that you remember the slide number.
Yeah. It was I think 17 slides. Slide 12, slightly long for a deck, but I'm a storyteller. I like slides. I do everything opposite. Everyone goes short form, long form, and my bets have paid off so far. So I was like, well,
we should have booked 2 hours.
Yeah. I'm saying even if you look at exactly. If you look at Starling. Right, one of the big reasons it worked when I was working with them is a complete contrarian way of looking at it, where all the other neobanks were focused on very younger population. They're the digitally native, they will interact with cards and mobile apps. Starling went for a slightly more mature crowd, and the end result is yes, they have slightly less customers, but they have more deposits. Right,
because that comes with age.
Exactly. It's a fundamental thing. Yeah. So it really depends what you're chasing. Whereas Revolut's model is scale at a disproportionate level. But if you are trying to be a sustainable, viable business, then for a bank, deposits value more than just the customer. Yeah, because the LTV on the customer, you can say, a customer might be valued at for the funding rounds, I don't know, 500 quid or $1,000. And hype cycles. Yes, you might currently only be making $120, $150 out of that customer, but you promise the investor that in 10 years you will upsell mortgages and insurances and all that. But it's a lot. It's a big margin to fill between $150 and $1,000 of LTV. It's like, oh my God, what all do I need to sell this customer? So just the contrarian thinking. So I think Stoa fundamentally is that other way. Why will anyone park their money for things? Well, they are. Yeah.
And how does it work? So do you have a mobile app, website?
Yeah. So our distribution, there is a direct destination, app.stoa.money, and anyone today can go there, start their journey, our full end-to-end journey, thanks to the technology from you guys and also our brilliant engineers. Our STP, which straight through processing, which simply means anyone listening is sort of when you land on there from the time you do your KYC, deposit end to end and redeem your perk is between 7 and 8 minutes, which is extraordinarily fast. So there's a direct site, but also very soon we are rolling the product out through partners.
Oh, fantastic.
So you would very soon get your merchants who are working with you reach out to you and go, hey, get your car insurance free or discounted next year if you save with us.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Because then, and it's not white label, they are very much a Klarna moment where we become the category definer and the category leader.
Yeah. That is amazing. What a story. Goodness me.
No, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for indulging me. I do I'm like one of those desperate writers or poets who's like, oh, you're a poet? Tell me a poem. Aha, you asked. Let me bring it. Oh, shit.
What have we got?
Poem 5. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have a lot of questions. You're making me hesitate.
I love it.
One thing I'm fascinated about, Mike, is you said you studied TV and film. Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
And then you switched and you went to LSE and then you did law and policy.
Yeah.
That is not a standard combination.
No, it is true. I do. That's a valid point. Valid spot.
Not a bad thing.
Not a bad
Amazing.
thing. Yeah. Not a valid spot. So my slightly different way of being brought up. My mother's a professor, but retired now, and my father was a banker. But on my mother's side, they were all deep intellectuals, thinkers, philosophers. So my original idea was to study theology at Oxford, and but I was a bit too close to storytelling and narrative, and even my first documentary, which I think won one of the best student docs and stuff, was around the corruption at the Notting Hill Carnival in London.
Oh, wow.
So I was always close to the nuance of commerciality, but with human stories.
Yeah.
And honestly, I tried to go to New York Tisch School for directing.
Yeah.
It was $120,000. And I also tried to make a film on gymnastics, sports drama. We almost raised about $1 million, but it's but I soon realized that I realized that there are only two modes in life. Either you work for somebody else or you work for yourself.
Right.
Either life take controls of you or you take control of life. And the second bit is very hard. It was completely unknown. And I felt that that little stint at Celador, who owned the rights to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and then they sold it to Endemol, who used to own Big Brother when Big Brother was the reality TV drama was the thing. And I realized that the real game is how you word things, how the whole legal package, and I was always into words and what they actually mean. And law to me was a game more so. And policy was just a way of society to accept a certain way of thinking about things. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then once you can control that, I mean, you can launch any product, you can launch any ideology. So that was the closest I thought. My grandfather's wish was for me to go down the route of theology and stuff, but I felt that was the closest. So I went towards policy and law, but I never wanted to be a lawyer. It was just purely I just indulge in things and something comes out of it.
But I find it fascinating because I think when you describe it, sometimes it's like, I can see how bits of the threads all come together to a point. But you said about either life comes at you or kind of you take control of life. Is that then what led you to set up your own agency at a very young age? And then you went and got very big clients.
There is this delusion of I'm destined for greatness. People might not notice it, but I am, and it's just a thing in my mind. And I think that does help you sometimes.
Well, you've got to have it to be
able to exercise it. There is an element of, but I always believe, people ask me, what type of leader are you? I actually say, I am kind, but I'm also direct. People say, oh, you should be fair and direct. I think by being fair, then you're more like a computer, yes or no. Kind means you're human.
Right.
Because nobody operates in black or white. People operate in the gray. Whether that's relationships, political views, food habits, choices. Oh, am I going to have ice cream tonight or not? Everything is nuanced, right? So, the agency stuff was, I tried to, and it's a very clear moment, happy to share. If it helps anyone to start their own thing, please do. But so I was very fortunate that most Asian parents sort of, especially Indian parents, sort of do this, do that. But my parents were very liberal. So I was very fortunate that way. So, but Procter & Gamble and Google, so I was close to getting some of those internships. Coming out of LSE, that helps. You do 2-year grad schemes and things like that. Didn't want to go into investment banking then. I wasn't really money-minded. I was more sort of, what am I going to build kind of. And I clearly remember went through 2 or 3 rounds of Procter & Gamble, and there was a third round on Bloomsbury Square, I still remember the red door. It's still there. You go in, it's an examination hall.
Oh, wow.
And they were 200 other candidates, and they were all taking those SAT style sort of, multi-choice, very American style sort of examination. I sat down, I'll be honest, Mo. It was this moment where my life literally flashed in front of me. I saw my grandfather, my grandmother get old. And I think sometimes it helps you to be close to people who have had the full innings.
Yeah.
And know that technically everything is meaningless till the time you give it meaning. Right? And at that moment, I sat down with that paper and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? It's like, I'm not going to live. I need to live with intensity. And that became my motto. And not help, well, they do great work. I'm sure they sell products that I use every day. But it was like, and some that I don't agree with. But it's, but it just flashed in front of me. And it was a 50-minute exam. I just faked all the circles, 10 minutes handed in, and he said, the examiner said, are you sure? I said, that's enough for me. And I left. And full credit to my parents, I went up to them and they said, how did it go? I said, well, I just quit that stream. That's not for me.
Yeah.
And they did not say anything. And they let me wander for a bit. And I wandered and found out that this very senior man who sadly passed away, Rod Taylor, who was senior executive at Celador, he pulled me aside and said, Mike, I think you should open your own shop. You're very good with ideas, very good with people.
Yeah.
So I was like, what will that look like? He said, well, give it a try. And so I said, why not? Give it a try. So set up a company, I think it's to remember 13th of September 2007.
Wow.
First few years, we're just bumbling along, sleeping on couches and this and that. And then the big moment starts to happen. And then you start getting these giant corporate clients. And every time we won a job, some very important people told me, Mike, the only reason we're getting you on the job is you're bringing fresh thinking. You don't have bad habits of ad agencies. Because genuinely, I did not know what that was. I had never worked in an ad agency.
You set up your own one.
I had no idea. So I didn't even know what the bad habit could look like.
Yeah.
And that really helped me to bring in fresh thinking, have no fear. If you lose the client, we lose the client, big deal. I just want to do good work, but not out of there is this big thing, anyone listening, and this is my point of view, and this has helped me over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Activism is good, but it doesn't solve problems.
Right.
Don't just be the person who says that's wrong. Be the person who also brings a solution. The solution might not be right.
Yeah.
But you are furthering the conversation.
Okay.
And that makes the whole difference. And then suddenly using that same analogy, you can be a good partner, you could be a good family person, a good friend, a good son, a good founder, an employer, employee. And I think just that activism on its own only takes you so far, but activist who also provides solutions is the one who actually is satisfied in their own self, but also others find value.
Yeah. That's personally, I agree with that as well.
You're amazing. You're amazing. You move. I think you're that kind of person, and I've interacted with you for a few good time now. And I think we are the people who see we need to work towards the project rather than work towards the day and win the war now. The little battles now. It's about winning that big war, right? And I think a lot of people get short-sighted because the dopamine hit of feeling you're right and you won a little thing now does not compound to winning that big thing at the end.
Yeah. I think that's where I feel very grateful to be at a place like Griffin, where the mission, that long-term view is so well set. By David, by Alan, by our founders, and I think that's what we try and live up to, rather than what you say, the little thing, just each day, bigger picture, longer term. How did you win that first client in the ad agency that you set up from nothing, from an insight, from a what sounds like a very good mentor by the sounds of it?
Great mentor. I had a very quick story about him, but he's ridiculously charming, charismatic guy, Scottish, still had golden hair and sort of flocked around. And when he still had a traditional world map because he used to travel as an exec producer for different TV shows around the world, and different strings of color from the UK used to be going out on the map. So this color is for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? This is for Brainiest. This is for You Are What You Eat.
I love that.
And his PAs would just move those around. So people, rather than checking diaries, would just look at the map. A physical thing. So where is Rod today? He's traveling to that part of the world to promote that show. But I saw in him a mentor where he said, I just wanted to become his assistant to learn a bit more. And he pulled me into his classroom and said, I'll hire you now. However, answer one question. It's like, I'm always surrounded by these very deep people. And it's like, yes, Rod, shit, here comes the question. And he goes, Mike, do you think I'm successful?
That is a deep question.
And I was like, in this glass office, I can see everyone working. I've just been there like 5-6 months. I might get a great job, but it's like this guy just asked me this philosophical deep question. And I went, I played it safe.
Yeah.
I said, well, you're very successful. Every time you come to the office, everyone is energized. And then he went, I'll tell you who I am. I said, who are you? He goes, I'm a failed actor.
Wow.
And this guy at that time might be the top 10 or top 5 highest paid European execs ever. I mean, across, that was the tail end of the 2003, 2004, 2005 era, tail end of TV being the golden sort of, the crown of attention.
Yeah.
And he said that to me and I just went quiet. And he said, you still have a lot to explore. Don't settle.
Wow.
And I was like, bloody hell. That gave me goosebumps. I still remember that. And then that same energy has stayed with me throughout. My grandfather had that same energy. Rod had that same energy.
Yeah.
So I've had that same energy throughout. And the first notable client, I would go, we won a lot of the technology brands like Canon and all these guys from a very simple way of just working on assets that they were not good at. And so that was easy because, hey, we'll manage your entire case study program. And I was like, oh, the boring bit, but that no other ad shop wanted to touch.
Yeah.
And we'll go in and we were creative. They're like, oh, very creative people were working on boring problems.
Yeah.
That stayed with me. And I built the whole agency around that. And I used to joke with clients. Our clients were banks, satellite companies, pharma, mostly complex, boring, technical businesses. And that really helped.
That's very smart.
Really helped.
You found the low competition angle.
Yes.
And you did it better than anyone else would have done.
Exactly. And injected more creativity than they were used to.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, you just jazzed up something so boring.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the story of the first noticeable sort of win. So Matt, who still sort of runs the other business, I'm not involved. And he goes, I think he had joined 2 weeks into the job and he got a meeting with Samsung. And Samsung, direct to Samsung, they said, hey, sell our air conditioners across Europe.
Wow.
Okay. At that time, it wasn't that hot. Things had started to heat up in Europe, but now it's an easier case to sell air conditioning because summers get hot.
Yeah.
So it was almost like selling snow to the Eskimos, right? So, and their launch market was Scandinavia and North Europe. I was like, guys, you could have given us a tougher brief, right? And so I still remember parking in their parking lot. Matt said, we've got a meeting. This is the one shot to get Samsung. And so we went in that meeting and it went this way. They had the head of their category, people from different parts of the world. They had these giant Samsung screens and we turned up with iPads. because iPads then were cool for agencies to have. And I didn't know, it's slightly tone deaf. Should have had Samsung tablets, right? And we turn up and they look at us going, well, why did you bring these iPads?
They said that?
Yeah, they pointed out,
wow.
guys, this is not a good move. And that's how the meeting started. I was like, gone. And then it quickly turned in our favor for two reasons. One, they tried to connect. They had these connection dongles, so it wasn't our devices, but they tried to project it on the screens.
Yeah,
they didn't work, and the IT guy came in. Something happened; it didn't work, and I was like, "Great start." And then they started to feel very embarrassed that it didn't happen, and they go, "Okay, just show it to us on your iPads," and we showed it on the iPad.
My goodness!
And then in that we threw everything in that pitch. So.
Yeah.
And I love contrarian thinking. Everything in my life has been when I have not done what everybody else wants to do.
Right.
So everybody after LSE wanted to get a proper, safe job. I didn't do it. Here, when you're talking about product, and I'm obsessed about product marketing and stuff like that, but show us Samsung. And it was a rule in the first 10 seconds, if you don't show the product in Samsung, you're fired.
Right.
You're fired. You're out. And they listened to the pitch for 10 minutes. In our 1 minute spot, it was for TV, it was for outdoor, the whole lot. They would plaster it across Scandinavia. The product only appears in 52 seconds in.
Oh, that's very late for a TV ad. Yeah, comparatively.
It's like there's no product. There was only 50 seconds of storytelling before that.
Yeah.
And the story was this guy passionately going on insane treks through mountains, rivers, snowstorms, on dog sledges, across the Scandinavian landscape, but keeps checking the phone, does something, activate. People don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So it just draws you right into this crazy, where is he going? Who is he trying to meet?
Yeah.
And then at 50 seconds, he just arrives at his log cabin going, he was kind of coming desperately for his air conditioner. And that was the big reveal. And he could control, could control the settings, the temperature on his phone. That was the idea originally. But, and then they said, product wasn't in the first 10 seconds, this meeting is over. Then I said, the aerial shots, there were some aerial shots in the storyboard.
Yeah.
We will pick up the cost of the helicopters. I just said it. And then, I didn't know what helicopter costed. I had never contacted a helicopter company before. We had already thrown in dog huskies and helicopters now. And their chief guy looked at me, looked at his team and go, give us some time. Chit-chat. We stepped out. You got the job.
Wow.
And there are stories after that, how it was made. And there's some incredible thinking behind that.
Yeah.
They, in 18 months, became the best white goods selling product in Europe. On the back of that, they outsold other products, popular ones like fridges and things like that. So that to me was both a creative and a commercial win, and believing in your gut about completely contrarian way of looking at the same problem. And it worked really well. But our go-to-market was also quite interesting. But thank you for asking.
That is a brilliant story. And I can see like that contrarian thinking, the way you flipped the script.
Literally.
You took it from the product needing to be in the ad within 10 seconds to, in fact, I'm going to tell a story and put this at the end, but I'm going to draw the person. And I don't know, for me, I can kind of see how you're doing the same with Stoa. You're saying, don't just put money in a savings account. Put your money somewhere where it will give you what you want, and it's
exactly.
Wow.
It's a bet, but so far so good.
That's what you're.
And we're seeing the ones who get it. My God, it's so sticky. They keep coming back. They're like, once they get it, they're like, hold on, I also have got this. I've got this. We're getting requests for things, which is great. Like initially, we thought it will only be subscriptions and things, but now people want groceries, people want all sorts of things, which is really good.
Wow, that's I love that bit of it as well. When you start something, then
you get that feedback. Yeah.
What advice do you have for people who maybe they're listening to this or watching this and they're thinking, or they're hesitating on maybe starting a business, or they want to do something in fintech. Like, what are the kind of key things that you've learned, not just with Stoa, but throughout kind of like, the whole innings, as you put it? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not really about the money.
Okay.
It's about how you make them feel. And money is very emotional. You can then go down a level, and people call it trust. Trust in the app, trust in the people interacting with you, customer support, trust in the email comms sent to you.
Yeah.
The success of the early stage neobanks back in 2015, 16, 17 was all built on trust. That, well, I've lost trust in traditional brick and mortar institutions. These guys seem to offer a different way of interacting with me, more on a human level. But it's really about the feeling. So if you can, as a founder, capture that feeling quickly in a statement, and then validate that very, very quickly, even before you build a product. So before we did Stoa's product build and the fundraise, we actually went out and interviewed about 250, 300 people,
wow,
businesses, individuals across London. So it was biased that it was a city dwelling. But over 70% feedback was, I am willing to lose liquidity in exchange of things. And we asked them different people has different things. Someone is sort of to do with pets, someone to do with their family, someone to do with their subscriptions, health, fitness, so it's different. But the fundamental idea, will you park money if I gave you things you need and use? Yes or no? I think if you can really validate that at speed and have 2 or 3 statements, you can literally go out and raise a lot of money on the back of that.
Yeah.
But you need to boil it down to what I call human insight.
Okay.
If you can validate that human insight, you can take this really, really far.
Yeah. Yeah. But sometimes that work that you did in doing those 250, 300 interviews is not like what's common in the kind of fairy tale stories of startups and things. But I know David and Alan did it. You just told me you did it. And it seems to be like one of the most important things that you can do before you kind of...
Completely agree. Yeah. And then now everyone can build very quickly. I mean, you can build at least a look and feel prototype that feels quite tangible, but what you can't build for is demand, right? So that if you can pre-test, that'd be really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. Mike, we could speak for days. Before we maybe wrap up, what's next for Stoa? What are you super excited about? You've mentioned the partnerships route. Yeah. Maybe we can go into a bit more detail on that. But what else are you looking forward to?
I mean, we are aggressively growing our partnership book. We will be announcing a couple of very important people joining as advisors, which is very exciting for us, for them to give their trust at such an early stage. Also, it's slightly public knowledge, but we are also looking to expand to the US market.
Very cool.
For SMBs in that space. Same logic, park your cash and get SaaS subscriptions kind of thing.
Yeah.
And for the UK, very soon, you would also be getting SME subscriptions. So, startups, small businesses, lock your money through Stoa. In return, get SaaS subscriptions you need to use, or internet or telephony, or data, AI, whatever. So I think besides partnership, the US move and the SME move and the new advisors joining is pretty exciting. I smile because there's a lot happening.
I was about to say, you are living your motto of live life with intensity.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And please do, everybody. I encourage, even if you're an employee, it's just, life is so precious and so amazing. I mean, all the hardships, it's a blessing. Be grateful. I'm grateful every day. I mean, sometimes when I was victim mindset, it's like, mate, Jesus. I mean, look at you.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, I mean, no crying. Let's go.
Yeah. Absolutely love it. Mike, thank you so much. What a pleasure.
No, thank you, Mo. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome.